So when you become a parent and you're a musician, a couple things happen. Like everybody, I bet he's gonna make a children's album. And you go, oh fuck you. Do I look like the kind of guy who's like, oh, now I'm an expert on parenting because I have a child for 3 months. I'll release a record and ask you to buy it. Man, the mountain goats do not go out like that. It's like not, if I had been writing children's music for 10 or 15 years at that point, I go, yeah, now I'm ready. But I had not, right? So I made records about people taking drugs because it's one of the things I do. But I did write songs for my child because I was very soft-hearted. It's one of the greatest things about early parenthood is like the softness that's inside of you becomes so available to you, and it's an immense blessing, and it's incredible. Some of that is because you're not sleeping, and so the entire album, The Sunset Tree, exists because I couldn't sleep on tour, and so. But yeah, so I started writing. Once the baby was 4 or 5 months old, I started playing songs for him at bedtime, and I had a big old songbook that I actually had. It was one of the things I used to help myself learn to play guitar. We would play Dark as a Dungeon and High Barbaree and all these, and Ripple by the Grateful Dead, and Saint Stephen by the Grateful Dead, and Afraid of the Devil by the Grateful Dead, Uncle John's Band by the Grateful Dead, which leads to fun times at school when the child sings High on Cocaine to his teachers. But, oh man, how much time you got? A little side story to this, right? So I bought, because I was playing so many Dead tunes for my son, and he was enjoying those ones so much. We'd have such a good time. He had a little 2-year-old dance he would do to the bridge in Saint Stephen, right? Lady finger dipped in moonlight. He would do this little thing. So I bought him this old comic from the 70s because the Grateful Dead were about their money, right? And they if there was some way of capitalizing on their brand, they would 100% indulge in that as quickly as they could, right? And so they got this idea to make a comic book to sell it at shows, and they got underground comics artists to illustrate a bunch of their songs, right? And one of them was Casey Jones, which I had not played for my son because of the cocaine in it, right? One day on vacation, we're at the beach, and he starts singing a song that I don't know. He's like 3, and he goes, got to really, but still don't see. And I said, what'd you say? What song is that, buddy? He says, Grateful Dead. I said, what song? He says, Casey Jones. I said, what is it? Got two googly eyes, and you still don't see. The line is, got two good eyes, and you still don't see. But the eyes of the guy driving in the comic were googly, and my son had written his own melody to go with it because he didn't know the song, which I thought was about the greatest fucking thing in the world, right? So, and these are stories you can't tell on social media because someday he'll go, that's the thing that never happened. Aggravating world to live in, and we should all be happy that someday we get to leave. But well, back to the positive stuff. So I'm writing all these children's songs, and I'm keeping them entirely to myself, and I'm developing a practice in them, right? And one day I had bought him a little stuffed vulture, as you do. And I sat down at the piano, and I started to write a song, which I haven't played on guitar before, but let's see what we can do. It's a morning song. It's called Good Morning To All Vultures. Morning to all vultures, high above the trees. Good morning to all vultures, of high and low degrees. Good morning to all vultures, near and far. In distant lands across the sea, or right here where we are. Morning, Mr. Vulture, atop the temple gate. Good morning, sleepy vulture, trying to fly straight. Good morning to the vulture with the great big beak. We hope today you find the carrion you seek. It's hard sometimes to be a vulture today, and so we say good morning just to start you on your way. Good morning to all vultures, high above this town. Don't let anybody try to put you down. circle round the cemetery way up high. Anyone would be proud to know so much of the sky.